You've seen this person walk into a room. Maybe you've been in a room with them. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't demand attention. They didn't do anything particularly dramatic. They simply arrived, and somehow, without a word, the room reorganized itself around them. Heads turned. Conversations paused. Eyes followed. And the fascinating thing? This person may not even be conventionally beautiful, or the most powerful person in the room, or the loudest. There is something else happening, something psychological, something that operates below the level of conscious awareness. And understanding what it is might be one of the most practically useful things you learn today. Before we go further, let's dismantle the most common assumption, that this quality is about looks, or volume, or status. Research consistently shows that the people who most reliably draw sustained attention in social settings are not always the most attractive, the loudest, or the most powerful. They share a different cluster of qualities, psychological qualities. A quality of presence that registers in other people's brains as significant before the watching person can consciously explain why. The science points to 5 specific elements that create this effect. And once you understand each one, you will recognize them instantly, in the people you already watch, and possibly in yourself. Element 1, stillness. This is the one most people overlook entirely, because our culture associates movement with engagement and stillness with passivity. But the nervous system reads it differently. When someone in a social environment is completely still, not rigid, not frozen, but genuinely settled, the brains of the people around them register a specific signal. This person has nothing to manage. No threat. No anxiety. No need to perform or impress. Evolutionary psychology suggests that stillness in a social context reads as competence and confidence, the person who doesn't need to move to feel secure. Every unnecessary movement, touching your face, shifting your weight, glancing around, broadcasts a low-grade nervousness that others absorb subconsciously. The still person in the room is unconsciously perceived as the one with the most control. Element 2, they make other people feel genuinely seen. This is perhaps the most powerful social force on this list, and the most underestimated. When someone gives you their complete, undivided, unhurried attention, your brain responds with something close to a neurochemical reward. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, is activated when we feel truly heard and seen. The experience is rare enough in modern life that it registers as remarkable when it happens. The person who can give real attention, not performed attention, not polite nodding while thinking about their response, but actual focused receptivity, becomes associated in other people's minds with the feeling of being important. And people are magnetically drawn back to whoever makes them feel important. They may not know why. The why is oxytocin. Element 3, and this is the paradox at the heart of this whole phenomenon, the people who draw the most attention are almost never the ones trying hardest to get it. Psychologists call this the reactance effect. Human beings have a built-in resistance to being pushed toward anything, including giving someone their attention. When a person is visibly performing for attention, over-explaining, over-gesturing, seeking eye contact too directly, laughing too quickly at their own jokes, the subconscious reading is, this person needs something from me. And that need is repellent. Contrast this with someone who is genuinely engaged in something, genuinely at ease in themselves, not requiring the room's confirmation, and the room is drawn to them. The attention flows toward the person who clearly doesn't need it. Every single time. Element 4, they have a clearly defined point of view, and they express it. This is rarer than it sounds. Most people in social situations default to vagueness, not out of stupidity but out of social safety. Committing to a clear position opens you up to disagreement. Staying vague feels safer. But it is also deeply forgettable. The brain is wired to track things that are directional, information that has a position, a shape, a stance it can react to. A person who has a clear, confidently held, thoughtfully expressed view on things is more cognitively engaging than someone who hedges everything. They create mild, productive friction, which is one of the brain's favorite states. Having a point of view doesn't mean being argumentative. It means being substantive. And substantive people stay in memory long after vague ones evaporate. Element 5, they carry a specific quality of energy, and it spreads. Neuroscience has documented the mirror neuron system, a network of brain cells that causes us to internally simulate the emotional and physical states of people around us. When you watch someone in physical pain, something in your brain mirrors it. When you are near someone genuinely joyful, something in your brain catches a version of it. The person who draws sustained attention is often someone whose internal state is particularly coherent and alive, not necessarily happy, not necessarily positive in any simple sense, but genuinely present and alive in themselves. That aliveness is contagious. The mirror neuron system in every person nearby starts firing in response. The room subtly rises to meet them. This is not magic. It is biology, specifically, the biology of social transmission. Here is the part of this psychology that almost no one talks about, because it complicates the narrative. Being the person everyone watches is not without cost. The sustained awareness of being observed creates a specific kind of ongoing performance pressure, not always conscious, but always present. The energy required to maintain coherent, magnetic presence is real. There is often a profound tiredness that comes after the room, when the attention lifts and the person is finally alone. Some people who draw every eye in social settings report feeling paradoxically invisible in private, as if the public version of them has become so polished and expected that the private, uncertain, unglamorous version has nowhere to be seen. The quality that makes a room turn toward you can make genuine vulnerability harder to find. 5 elements. Stillness that signals security. Attention that makes others feel seen. The paradox of not trying. A clear point of view. And a quality of aliveness that spreads through a room without permission. These are not gifts you either have or don't. They are psychological stances, ways of being in your own body and in the presence of other people, that can be understood, practiced, and developed. You may already have more of them than you realize. The person in your life who walks into rooms and changes them, who draws eyes without asking for them, who stays in memory after they've left, they are not magic. They are someone who, consciously or not, has developed these specific qualities. Which of the 5 is already yours? Which one do you want to build next? Tell me in the comments. And share this with the person in your life who has this quality, and probably has no idea why.